For years, playing Euro Truck Simulator 2 in virtual reality meant digging through Steam menus, opting into beta branches and crossing your fingers, but not anymore. ETS 2 VR can finally be launched from one simple launch command, and if you are running it on a Pimax headset, the level of immersion is absolutely mind-blowing. This is Euro Truck Simulator 2, and this is of course virtual reality. This is on the Pimax Super Micro OLED, and I'm absolutely stoked to bring this to you guys today, because finally we have American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator 2 in version 1.58 in as near to, damn it, native virtual reality than we have ever been before. It may surprise you that it literally took me less than 5 minutes to actually get from flat screen to virtual reality in this by using one simple string launch command within Steam configuration. There is no downloading any beta software anymore. There is no messing around, changing settings to make the menu look correct. We are literally opening Pimax Play, we're putting one line in Steam, and we are literally setting our in-game settings, and then we are away. And in this video I'm going to show you everything you need to know to get your game looking like this. This is, of course, a standard SCS truck. This is a Volvo FH6, and it has this amazing Manfred skin on here. And let me just say as well that this is also running over 60 FPS, and this is running at 1.0 high Pimax Play render resolution. And just to summarise there, you can see on the side of a truck, living the dream. Guys, this is living the dream. I play a lot of virtual reality games, everything from iRacing, Automobilista 2, Race Room, to say just a few, and this is the best virtual reality experience that I have ever had in both American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator 2. Now previously, if you've seen the channel before, you've probably seen that I've done the unique guides for Pimax in virtual reality, and I will say wholeheartedly that there is no better way to play these games than on Pimax. In this example, we're using the Pimax Super Micro OLED, and the colours and everything just absolutely pops in this. It looks absolutely stunning. But don't take my word for it. On screen, look here, and you will see in the corner that I've also done some short recordings on my iPhone 17 Pro Max, and it looks absolutely incredible. The colours pop, it's super smooth, and this is just absolutely virtual trucking nirvana where we are now. What we're going to do, we're going to dive inside the truck and take a look inside, and then we're going to go for a short drive to show you how incredible this is. And I'm going to show you everything in this video you need to know to get your game looking like this. Virtual trucking has never looked so good, and if you want to experience the Pimax Super or the Pimax Crystal Light, you can now do this completely risk-free. Just scan the QR code on screen or hit the link below and use the code NextLevelSimGaming before April the 11th for a huge discount, return shipping assurance, and an extended 12-month warranty. And if you don't love it, just send it back. Now let's get back to the cabin for more ETS2 gameplay. So we are of course inside the Volvo FH6 now, and as you would expect, everything works. We've obviously got working windows here, we've got working indicators, and even the switch gear works as well. You can see when I press the indicators up and down. I've got the Moses stalk here as well. You know, this is just absolutely beautiful, super detailed. As I zoom in now just on this Volvo badge, everything works. As you can see, even the dashboard, digital dashboard there, we've got everything on there. We've got the satellite navigation there as well. And the great thing about virtual reality as well is it's an absolutely unbelievable experience being able to turn around and actually look around us as we would be able to in real life, IRL. But of course, if I wind the window down, this is the thing that you can't do with a Tobii eye tracker. We can of course actually look outside of a truck, and we can actually get a vantage point and see what's going on outside of there. There's nothing more immersive, guys, than being actually within this amazing experience. It's just something that has to be experienced. It's as close to actually being within a real vehicle as I can imagine. I mean, I've never actually sat in a real HGV vehicle, unfortunately, but let me tell you this, I would imagine the sense of scale and size is probably comparable to what it is actually like. You know, the detail even on this unit just up here, you know, we've obviously got the actual window just at the top there so you can actually see out the skylight there. You know, this is just unbelievable. Now of course in virtual reality there's nothing more demanding that impacts performance and mirrors. And you can see here that we are spoilt for choice. We've obviously got the two actual modern style actual camera mirrors here, and obviously looking outside you can see the actual cameras there, obviously power V's, but you know, this is just absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible. And what we're going to do, we're going to go for a short drive, we're going to go somewhere a bit more scenic, we're going to take it for a little drive and show you how incredible this is actually out on the road as well. So it's a beautiful sunny day and we are on the outskirts of Switzerland, and we're actually just heading to Geneva. But before we set off, I just want to really talk about what really makes this amazing game is really special on the Pimax devices. Of course, with the Pimax Super and the Pimax Crystal Light, we have direct display ports. So basically this is connected directly to the GPU, and we don't need batteries, we don't need to charge it, nothing like that. It's just simply plug and play and open Pimax Play, and within seconds we are in this incredible experience. And as you can see, it's a beautiful day here, everything looks absolutely amazing. We're running over 297 modifications here, and it just doesn't get any better. I've done a number of guides actually on the Quest 3, in fact I've actually got another one coming up as well to refresh for version 1.58 on the Quest 3 devices due to popular demand. And much as though the Quest 3 is a fantastic VR headset, you know, remember this is a dedicated PC VR headset. With the Quest 3, with the Pico 4 and with standalone headsets like that, and if you want to play dedicated PC VR titles, remember that this is an actual PC VR headset. This is not pretending to be a PC VR headset. We're not essentially just trying to get to the levels that this already is at. This is here already. You know, we're not emulating a PC VR headset using things like a USB-C cable connection or using virtual desktop. This is plugged directly into your GPU, and within minutes you are literally in the game, and it doesn't need charging as already stated. You know, this is play it for as long as you want. It's absolutely the top draw in terms of visual clarity, and this is a 4K headset. You know, it's 4K per eye. It's just absolutely stunning. So of course on the actual Pimax Micro OLED here, of course it is a bit more impactful on performance, but it doesn't get any better than this. If you are a serious virtual trucker, then this is my top recommendation now. The Pimax Micro OLED is it. Now let's just set off and show you how absolutely amazing this is. And just as I look around inside the cabin here, you know, this is just absolutely unbelievable. And as you can see, the detail in all the vehicles we're passing here, we've got you know, Farmer's vehicle there, we've got the Amazon Prime vehicle there. I don't think that there is actually a more accurate rendition of virtual trucking really as to where we are now with this. It's probably as close as you can get to reality as anything. Now the other great thing about Euro Truck Simulator 2 or American Truck Simulator is, of course, you have jobs to do in the game. You can do lots of different things, or you can just go for a drive around and just enjoy the experience. So I've set the traffic actually density to quite a high level here at 1.4 here, so it's a bit more dense than it would be normally. And I've done that to obviously just show you just essentially how smooth this is and how well this works. But as well as that, we've also got these real high quality mirrors in play here as well. You know, we've got obviously the actual additional sort of sunroof elements of the vehicle here as well. You know, so we've got lots of real high quality features in operation here. And when you go through high texture landmarks like the walls we're going through just on the left and right hand side here, now these are all hugely impactful normally on performance in VR, but everything is silky smooth here. And also remember, I'm also recording this on the same PC as well, just to give you an idea of essentially how refined this has become. Now over the years I've really struggled to capture content in American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator 2, and anybody who has attempted to do it will tell you how difficult it actually is. In fact, I actually have a lot of people messaging me and asking me, how are you capturing, how are you recording that? And it's almost like a certain art to actually do that in itself. So I've chosen this route deliberately because obviously we have a lot of different features in play here. Now also I've got to mention as well that I've got an incredible friend to the channel who is Mo Skinner, and Mo Skinner has done a lot of work helping me on Discord for helping users out, but also has done a number of actual truck modifications for this actual game for myself and for Pimax as well. So we also have some traffic vehicles as well, some Pimax livery traffic vehicles. Also, not forgetting, we have Polly from Polly's Custom Skins as well, who actually did a custom Pimax livery truck for us as well, and those are available also from the Steam Workshop, so I'll leave links to those two guys obviously as well. There's nothing more breathtaking than literally coming out of those tunnels and seeing these Swiss mountains for the first ever time. And if you just look at what's going on screen here, we've got a lot going on, and obviously of course at times the FPS is obviously going to fluctuate as well, but from my perspective here, and I'm not too sure if it may be coming through well on the actual recording, but this is actually silky smooth and looks absolutely stunning. And if we look at the actual trees and everything in the distance there, you know, these are actually all high texture modifications I've got running on here as well. You know, this is literally a melt your GPU type experience that I've got working here, but of course, you know, we can refine it further to make it work well for you. Guys, this is just absolutely beautiful. We are of course in the Swiss Alps, and you know, this is just literally one of the most stunning locations in the game, which is why I brought you here. Everything from the waterfalls, the amazing mountains, the scenery is just absolutely sublime. It really is. And I have to say that STS have absolutely knocked out of the ballpark with these actual recent updates as well, because not only have we obviously now got the ability to launch the game through one simple launch command and then simply modify the actual game itself through utilising the in-game settings, you know, we have this. We have, I believe, one of the most stunning experiences, probably outside of titles like Microsoft Flight Simulator and other titles like that in virtual reality. But remember that this is really almost like a hidden gem in VR. There's so many people out there who do not realise that you can get this working in virtual reality, and especially working so well in virtual reality now by utilising these essentially hidden features. Now previously, in case you didn't know, and I've already stated, you've seen potentially in the previous guides that I've done, to get it working in VR, what you had to do was basically download a beta branch of software, and then once you were in there, you had to mess around with configuration settings and lots of different tweaks to get it working correctly. In this, all we have to do is simply insert 2 lines essentially within the actual game configuration settings, and then everything else is managed through the actual settings themselves. And what we have is this, you know, this ultra immersive, super amazing experience that, although I do absolutely love American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator 2 on the desktop because they are incredible, and of course the visual clarity in terms of graphics is always going to be more refined on the desktop, you're not going to be able to get a feeling of absolutely immersiveness that we are getting within this. And I'm hoping that this is coming through really well for you guys, because on the Micro OLED, and this is why I wanted to come to this particular section of the game, the colours are just absolutely popping. Everything looks absolutely stunning. You know, the skyboxes look amazing. This is what it's all about. This is what virtual reality is all about. And this may surprise you that I basically have played a number of different VR titles, but out of all of them, and I still maintain that this is the best experience out of them all, ATS and ETS 2 are just something really, really special in virtual reality. And the best thing about them is that it's free. If you own these 2 games, or even if you don't, they're available for very little money normally in the Steam sales. And if you weren't aware that you can play these in virtual reality now, it's another reason, another captivating reason to get this incredible VR headset, the Pimax Super, and in particular in this video the Micro OLED. Of course, it plays fantastically on all Pimax headsets as well, the Pimax Crystal Light, and also in particular the Pimax 57 PPD. We are getting around 60 FPS, super smooth in this, and I know it comes through a little bit choppy in the recordings because unfortunately it's a very difficult game to capture in the recordings, but let me just say to you that this is just absolutely super smooth and absolutely super outstanding. And of course, a powerful PC is a prerequisite to running at this sort of level of modifications. I'm running 297 here, but that's not saying that you are completely limited in the respect that you're not going to be able to run this. Out of the box, the game looks fantastic nowadays without even adding things in like Project Next Gen, which I'm running here, and also using a number of workshop mods such as Weather 3.5 to get these amazing skybox effects. You can essentially run it vanilla, in other words, out of the box. I'm using here a SCS truck, so this is just a Volvo FH6 and a standard SCS trailer, and the modifications for the skins are from the Steam workshop as well. Now the other thing to state as well is I really have to say a huge thank you to the two channel contributors who are regulars on my channel. We've got Mo Skinner, who is prevalent on my Discord as well, as an absolutely fantastic guy, and he does a high number of Steam workshop skins as well for ETS2, and he's also done some amazing ones also on the Pimax as well for us as well on NextLevelSimGaming, and they are also available to download from the Steam workshop. He's also done some amazing skins. I'm just bringing some pictures of them up on screen now as well. They're actual traffic skins that actually work within the game. Now of course, because of traffic skins, it's very difficult for me to obviously capture those and see those in operation, but they will pop up every now and again in the game. Also, not to mention as well, we've also got Polly from Polly's Custom Skins, who also is a Steam Workshop modifier and also has his own YouTube channel just like Mo as well, and I've links to them again in the video description. But as we've gone up these incredible winding hills through Switzerland, we are getting to a peak of a mountain here, as you can see, and it brings me nicely onto the fact that this is just the most amazing immersive experience that you just have to try. Now what we're going to do now, we're going to dive into the guide. I'm going to show you exactly how we got everything working just like this, and how easy it is now to get everything working just like this too. So this is possibly the easiest guide that I've done in VR on the Pimax Super on ATS or ETS2. We're going to be looking at the in-game settings first of all. What we need to do is we need to firstly set the in-game resolution to whatever you wish, but ideally something in the 1440p range. There is no actual visible image on the monitor and there's no reprojection. When you actually put the custom launch command into Steam, which I'll show you in a moment, it actually sets the parameters automatically. So all you will see on screen is just simply a black box where the actual image would normally be. So it's pretty irrelevant unless you are screen recording or capturing to use this particular resolution feature. Of course, if you are screen recording, you may want to set it at a higher resolution. Refresh rate I've set to 100Hz, which is as near as we can get it to the 90Hz of the Pimax Super in refresh rate. Vertical synchronization is disabled. We have the FPS limit set to 89, which is 1 under the 90Hz refresh rate of the Pimax Super. Image scaling on quality we have set to 200% scaling. This works really well in a headset and it looks fantastic. It's as near to a desktop quality image as you're potentially going to get in VR. Anti-aliasing is disabled, and the reason for this I'll show you in a moment. We are going to use Snowmoon temporal anti-aliasing, which is a simple free modification that we can download from Snowmoon. We can drag and drop into the game, and it's really simple and it's very effective, and it essentially removes any jagged edges or any flickering that you may see in the game, and it's still to this day potentially the best in virtual reality that you're going to be able to use. Texture quality we have set to high, and the anisotropic filtering set to 16 multiplier. All the other settings you can see here, we have reflection scaling set to 200%, which gives really nice reflections on the vehicles. Reflection detail as well. Again, this has a moderate impact, so you can also drop this down to medium if you are having any performance impact. But the mirror quality, mirror resolution, and mirror distance all set to medium. And again, mirrors are quite impactful on performance, but this does still look very good in the actual game itself. Shadow quality set to high. I've removed the far shadows and interior shadows because again these are quite impactful on performance. Screen space ambient occlusion must be disabled. It's the biggest impactor in performance in ATS or ETS2 in VR. Light visibility ranges I have set to medium. I have traffic headlights and secondary vehicle lights set again in game. Again, if you have any performance impacts, particularly if you have a Pimax Super 50 ppd or an ultra wide, you may also want to disable these two settings. Sun shafts I have set on because I think it adds a really nice effect in the game, but again it does impact on performance, and again you may want to remove this if you're having any impact on performance in the game. Vegetation detail, grass density, and weather quality. You can see here that the custom setting for the weather quality is once again set by the Snowmoon application, but vegetation detail and grass density I think are really essential to get a really nice look in VR. And again, pedestrians is optional, and it's one you may want to or not use. Next, we need to head over to Pimax Play. We need to look at the actual device settings used. In this example, I'm using the new Pimax Play 2.0 software. I've been testing this for around 3 days, and I find the UI is much better. Software is absolutely exceptional. I've had no issues whatsoever. So we are in the device settings of Pimax Play, and as you can see here, this is a completely different UI layout and much more intelligent, and testament really to Pimax and their ongoing development of Pimax Play software. I believe this is actually the best iteration of the Pimax Play software that I've personally ever seen. First of all, on the device settings on the left-hand side at the top there, you can see we need to first of all scroll down and we need to ensure that any visual adaptations are turned off. In other words, the eye tracking and anything relating to eye tracking basically needs to be disabled. It's just an overlay that is used within American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator 2. The next tab we'll take a look at here, you can see obviously we have the general, and we need to ensure that Steam VR is the actual openxr runtime used in American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator 2. And that may sound counterintuitive, but it's actually better performance using Steam VR than it is the actual Pimax openxr method. And that's potentially due to an additional openxr runtime layer that is unnecessary, because remember that ATS and ETS 2 use quite an archaic version of software in comparison to many modern native titles. Image and performance is the most important one. However, we need to first of all select that the image quality is set to high. High is 1.0 in render resolution, and we can consequentially change the actual scaling in game, so we need to retain the image quality set to high in Pimax Play. Quad views is just generically set to quality here. I haven't actually selected any eye tracking, so that's irrelevant. Smart smoothing is something you may want to play around with as well. If you are experiencing any jitter when turning within ATS or ETS2, smart smoothing I have found does actually work well in some applications and some scenarios. That's essentially all we need to do once we are within Pimax Play and the device settings, and the only settings we need to change. So the new development in Euro Truck Simulator 2 and American Truck Simulator is the experimental_VR launch command, and we access that by going into the Steam menu, as you can see here. On the left hand side we have American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator 2. In this example we're using ETS2. By selecting this and then going across to the right hand side, you'll see we have an icon that's labeled as Manage. Select Manage and then Properties. It will then bring up another menu, which you can see here. Previously, to access VR, we would have had to have gone into the game versions and betas, and we would have had to select the Oculus plus OpenVR plus openxr beta software, which would be an additional piece of software we'd have to download. That still is available and is still an option to use, and you can refer to the previous guides if you want to still use that route. If you plan on playing ETS2 or ATS permanently in VR, then that's potentially an option that may be suitable for you. However, now we don't need to do that. We simply select General from the left hand side. You can see here that I have 3 parameters I've entered into here. The no intro is just an optional one. It just removes the actual introduction sequence from the game where we have the STS logo loading at the beginning, and it's obviously more of an annoyance than anything else. So the no intro again just removes that from happening. The next one we have is the most important one, which is the -experimental_VR, which basically launches the game automatically into VR. We need to tell the game how we want to launch it in VR. So in this instance, we're using the openxr method. The OpenVR method is quite an outdated method now and simply is not one that's generally used anymore. By entering these 2 launch commands, the game will automatically launch into virtual reality using openxr, and it will automatically set all the methods required as well. So we don't need to actually go into the configuration file and add any manual adjustments, such as the orientation of the menus and the removal of the actual main screen mirror and all the other options that we had set previously in the previous guides. And this makes just launching into VR a very simple process and much less hassle. If we want to launch the flat screen mode again, we would simply remove these 2 options here, the experimental_VR and also the openxr as well. So to quickly recap, getting into ETS2 in VR is easier now than it has ever been. And we can finally say goodbye to juggling beta branches. Just drop that simple parameter into your launch options, boot up the game, and you are instantly on the road. And as you saw today, when you pair the massive detailed world of Euro Truck Simulator 2 with the crystal clear resolution of a Pimax headset, it completely changes the game. It stops feeling like you're just playing a simulator on a screen and truly feels like you are sitting right here in the cabin. And if this video helps you get your VR rig up and running, or if you just enjoyed the ride, please smash that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you want to see more VR gameplay, sim racing related reviews and headset reviews, make sure you subscribe and don't miss what's coming next. Drop a comment down below and let me know what headset you're using, or tell me which route I should take on the next drive. Thanks so much for riding along with me. Take care and I'll see you in the next video.